Good day and welcome to episode 2 of my vanilla tutorial series. So last episode I left you guys off with a rudimentary fundament of a base to be, where we had some sort of automated production with the platings going on, which get ultimately laid down into these chests. This is by no means a advanced concept or such. It is just some way to avoid the furnaces getting filled up with plates, so they keep producing. For today we are heading for new goals, because what we're having here is merely a start. So first off, I'm going to free up the space here to do something useful while talking, and we're not having any further options with the items we're able to build here to further proceed, because we're not having the necessary technology, and that's where the laboratories come into play. Going to install some technology today, and we are going to discover how the technology and research system in Factorio works. And after this, I'm going to accompany you guys through the further process of automating work in a factory to be. Right now we're not having the tools to do so, but that's what we're researching first. So before we're getting into that, we're going to chop some more trees, and I would really be happy about some thumbs up or some subscriptions to my channel if you want to support me and my work a little bit more directly. If none of those, just keep watching. That's the most important thing to me. So research. We're going here into the research window, and as you can see, this is the full array of technologies the game has to offer. It's quite a list, and it ultimately leads to funny things like atomic bombs and space rockets, and well, between that are a few more mundane things like cars, electronic masts. We're gonna get through all this during the playthrough. For now, everything which is researchable is showed in yellow, and the first things we want to research are automation. This unlocks the assembling machines and another sort of inserters, and logistics, which opens up some new sorts of moving stuff from A to B. And after this is going to be that, but this makes sense after we have understood how research works. So first off, to research we're going to need laboratories, so I'm going to build 2 of them. Also, I think that I don't produce enough energy right now, so I'm going to make 2 new boilers and 4 new steam engines, because that's how we do it. 1 boiler, 2 steam engines. That's how the ratio goes. So now we're picking up some more iron plates, which are conveniently being produced now for us. This is quite an advancement compared to what we started with. And while the laboratories are being built, I'm going to drop down some new electric miners here and there to produce some stones for us while we're busy doing other things. And going to do this. Well, okay, I'm only having 1 piece of belt left, but it's not going to stop me. Okay, I'm having the laboratories I need now. A laboratory is quite simple to install. You just put it to the ground, and then they need energy. There we go. I'm going to build 2 more, but only after I've finished the little work here with the stones. There we go. I just want to make sure that we're producing some to have some for later. And also, while I'm at it, I'm going to produce something out of these stones, because you can do bricks out of stones. And other than all these items here, I can't craft bricks in my inventory, just like I can't craft plates in my inventory. So we need to do this on a furnace too. So we're going to make it like this, and this way I'm going to make use of this area here. So we just need to connect with power, and there we go. I'm going to install another inserter which does exactly the same thing as these guys here before. So I'm producing some bricks for later, basically. Okay, so in the meantime, I forgot to produce more laboratories. Wonderful. Well, now it's like that. We're gonna work with 2 for now. So, research is being done with a certain form of currency called science packs. You need, for every technology, a certain amount of science packs, which is ciphered down here. 10. We need 10 of them, and they are being researched for 10 seconds per pack. This ratio differs from technology to technology. If we look at those really high-tech technologies, we see huge amounts. And yeah, so for the automation, we need to research 10 science packs, 10 seconds each. So right now I'm producing them in my inventory, and I'm going to... Well, we're going to stop it there. After the 10 are done, that's okay. Going to produce an inserter afterwards. Well, not afterwards, right in between, it's better. So, the thing about laboratories is they can feed each other. Going to drop down some automation packs here. And now the inserter gives the other laboratory science packs. So there we go. We're now starting to research automation out of these science packs. And that's all. That's how technology works in Factorio. It's a quite simple process, but it is deep enough to get complex at some point, because as you can see here, further technologies need different science packs. So there are a total of 5 different science packs in the game. No, 6. I thought like I was wrong. Yeah, 6. So the last technologies in game need, like here, you need, for the research of atomic bombs, you would need 5,000 red science packs, green science packs, gray science packs, and so on. That's a total of 30,000 science packs to produce. It's quite a number, isn't it? So for now, I'm happy that we're only needing 10 of those things to get our research going, and those big numbers, they are for later. Okay, well, I'm picking up stuff here again, and let's research a little bit more. Going to produce some more science packs after I have the laboratories. So all I'm doing now is to put up some more labs. This is all we're doing, just to make sure that the research is getting done a little bit quicker. Oh, but I need some inserters in between. And now we can produce some science. Okay. There we go. So I've now researched automation, and I'm gonna look that up in a second. But first, I want to put up the inserters. One really important thing about feeding of laboratories is the chain has to have an end. If you don't put up an end to it, they'll cycle the last pack indefinitely between each other, and it just doesn't get used. That's not useful at all. Okay, automation has been finished, so we're having now access to the assembling machine Mark 1 and long-handed inserters. Assembling machines are machines which basically do the job of crafting for you. The stuff I'm doing right now out of my inventory can be done with an assembling machine. An assembling machine can essentially craft everything except for the things where you need other machines for, like iron plates. I can't do that in an assembling machine. I will always need some sort of furnace. But the recipes always tell you where the things need to be done if they can only be done somewhere specifically. Like if you look at the other items here, they're not having any specifics. And if you look at the stone bricks, it's showing you a specific spot where it's going to be made. So basically everything which has no specifics on it is can be produced by the assembling machine. So we're going to put down our first one of those, and we're going to see what this wondrous machine can do for us. You can put them here now, and you can now select what they should produce for you. Like, I always think that transport belt automation is one of the most wonderful things in game, so we're going to get there. As we're seeing now, the concept with those chests, it was quite nice, as long as I was only interested in stockpiling those plates for crafting out of my inventory. But as of now, the concept of stockpiling in my inventory is not that interesting anymore, because I want to get that stuff into the machines. And to get that stuff into the machines, I mean, I can feed it by hand, just like I did with the furnaces, but I can also do something different. I can put items on the belt and feed the machine just like I feed the furnaces here. That's what we're going to do next. So instead of depositing everything into those chests, I'm going to do something different from here on. So we're never going to bother with these chests again, except for some special occasions. And instead, I'm going to drop down another set of belt here. So right now, we're not able to put any items on this belt, because as you see, the normal inserter just has a range of, well, it can only reach the belt. As you might have already thought, here comes the long-handed inserter into play. That's why it's called the long-handed inserter. Well, I guess you already figured. Oh, okay. So, there. A long-handed inserter always grabs a little bit further. So if I put them here with the arrow towards this direction, they'll start putting their stuff on the belt. So there we go. Now I have a place where the iron plates which get produced will roll across the belt for me. Okay, now we're going to continue with the research though, because another really important part of any factory is the logistics technology. So this time we're going to need 20 of those thingies, and they're going to get researched 15 seconds per pack. This is already a longer time than the last one, so we're going to be busy with that for a moment. In the meantime, we're going to set up a nice and automated production facility for transport belts, because I always feel like transport belts are such a fundamental thing in Factorio. You just want to have them as early as possible. So now then, I'm having 2 assembling machines because I already know that I'll need 2. I'm going to drop down the first here, and let's check out the transport belt recipe. We're going to need iron plates and iron gear wheels. So iron plates, we're already having them over here. So I'm going to ditch my production again. At the beginning of Factorio, while you're busy handcrafting so much, you always have to juggle around with the priorities of your hotbar down here a lot. It's a necessary evil. So I'm going to input iron plates from this direction into the assembling machine. But as we see now, we also need iron gear wheels. There are different ways to do this, and I want to introduce a very simple one. So I put another assembler right next to this guy, and I'm configuring him to produce iron gear wheels as well. I'm going to pick up the iron plates this needs from here. I'm going to put up another inserter over there. And as you can see now, I'm going to explain it in a second once the array is done. As you can see now, this machine produces the gear wheels, transports them over here, and this machine now gets its gear wheels from this side, its iron plates from this side, and there we go. An automated production of the transport belts. I'm limiting the machines, the storage slots of the wooden chest on purpose, because I don't want to fill this chest completely, because I really like to just pick up everything out of a chest while I'm running across the, the prairie. And it's really annoying if you end up with 1,200 belts in your pocket, which you just didn't need at that point. So that's why I like to limit those inventories. I'm putting up some more miners, because this last furnace here is not working anymore. So we're putting in the other science packs, and on this side here we can do the same thing. We're having now the inserters we need. We're going to drop down some belt here. I'm going to remove these chests because they are just obsolete at this point, and long-handed inserters, there we go. So now I have a basic production of the most important materials in Factorio on a belt. Iron plates and copper plates are very, very important materials. And now the logistics technology is finished for us. The logistics technology introduces underground belts and splitters. A underground belt is quite simple to understand, and a splitter, once you see how it works, is also a pretty easy to understand concept. So we're going to research now the logistics science packs. This is the next generation of science currency, and as you see down here, the technologies start to need 2 different science packs. Right now, or no, we're not going into this. We're researching guns next, because more fun's with guns, I guess. Okay, we're going to bring up some more science here. I have already enough science packs loaded up into the laboratory, so the military technology will just be researched while we're waiting. And over here, we're already getting a nice little array of transport belts done for us. The first steps towards automation are done. So now let's do some underground belts and some splitters so I can explain these things to you further. With an underground belt, you can solve situations like these. It's very simple. Like, that's how an underground belt works. I guess there's no further explanation necessary. These things are very, very useful helpers for you. And the first tier of these guys has a max length of 5 fields. These get upgraded later in the game. We're getting more capable and flexible options there in the later progress of the game. A splitter works a little bit differently. Well, to put it into simple terms, a splitter splits off a lane into 2. So if we drop it down, like, let's say here, this is a nice spot where no damage will be done. Here's the splitter, and now I can split off another belt of things in another direction. This is a very, very useful tool if you want to redirect something, if you want to bring some items from a certain belt to another direction without designating a whole new lane with everything. These are connectors in a way, but they can do a lot more for us, and we're going to explore the uses of these thingies a little bit deeper across this series. So, military has been researched. This gives us access to the submachine gun, the shotgun, and some ammo for the shotgun. I'm going to research turrets next, because automatic guns are even more fun. And I'm going to dismantle in the meantime these obsolete and redundant old technology pieces. In the meantime, we're having some more technology done. And let's do, as the next step of our evolution, a little array which produces red science packs automatically for me. Because I'm tired of crafting these from hand, I'm going to do some machines to do that for me. So I'm going to drop it down here, and let's tell this machine what we want. So we're going to need copper plates and iron gear wheels. So at this point, it starts to be important that we have a look on those recipes a little bit more detailed. So in this scenario, we have the I want to look at these machines here we built earlier. So we're producing iron gear wheels to produce transport belts. Okay, So far, so good. So when we look at it deeper, we're producing 1 unit of iron gear wheels in half a second, and this recipe is being done in half a second. It needs 1 iron gear wheel per second. So this means these 2 machines work perfectly efficient with each other. So this is a quite easy chain to understand, because the pieces work exactly at the same speed. But if we look at the automation science pack, this thing crafts 5 seconds per production cycle. So this means until this machine is done a single time, this machine has produced a gear wheel 10 times. So this translates into one of these machines can provide 10 of these machines with gear wheels. Because these calculations get really bothersome if you have to do them all manually, there is a wonderful little mod I'm using, which is called the MaxRateCalculator. I'm using it here and I'm showing it quite quickly here. This is a little mod which just tells you how many items these machines need per second and how much they will drop out per second. And here it explains if we have enough input of something in the grid or not. You can play the game without this mod, then you just have to do a lot more calculating on your own. I did this like for months, when not years, without the help of mods, because I really like calculating things, but the game is just more fun. It's still frustrating enough to design things when they don't work out. Anyways, long story short, we're just going to need 1 machine to produce iron gear wheels for us to completely fulfill the needs of a red science machine. So for this, I'm going to produce another machine which makes iron gear wheels for me. And there we go. Now I have a spot where these things get produced. And now I can drop down this machine here. There we go. So I'm going to tell my machine that I want red science packs. And I'm going to drop these in here. But this alone is not enough for now. I need those copper plates as well. So as you see now, the other half of the belt is not used. And here the other half of the belt is not used. This brings us to the point that we might just fuse them, and the game certainly allows us to. I'm going to use a splitter for this reason this time, because it's a wonderful situation to try this tool out. So I'm going to stretch this belt over here, and now what I'm doing is I'm taking this belt here, prolonging it towards this direction, and I'm leading it on this lane. And now what happens is the copper plates from this side hit the lane from this side, and boom, there we go. We have both materials necessary to produce red science packs, and that's all we're going to need. Wonderful. Just add an inserter and off we go. Okay, that's that. So because I'm producing the red science down there, I've decided to pick up my laboratories and bring them a little bit closer, because Factorio never punishes you for replacing things. So I'm just dropping the laboratories down here. I could now do something like that and just directly insert the produced science into the laboratories. That is certainly something you can do, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's better if we're doing it like this, because this makes our whole array a lot more flexible. So this way I can add other laboratories if I want to, or move those somewhere else if I want to. Most of the time, connecting a belt or a container between 2 production facilities or whatever's, it most of the time is quite worth the effort, but it'll make more sense across the series. So I'm going to repeat the things I did before, give those guys their inserters so they can feed each other, and now we have a first automated machinery of producing red science packs. So if we now look at the max rate calculator, it is producing 0.1 red science packs per second. That's all. That's what one machine does for us. And I feel like that's not enough for my taste. I want more of that. So how we're going to do that? I was thinking about something quite nifty. What about reversing the flow of these things here? And we're going to change this up a little bit. And we're going to grab the belt into this direction. And I'm going to... I think I don't have enough assemblers right now. No, I don't. Let's produce a few more. So I'm going to produce, like, let's say 4 machines to do red science for me. In the meantime, we have researched turrets, which brings us gun turrets. These are, well, gun turrets. You put ammo in them, they shoot things. Very useful companions. And they don't even need power. That's the most overpowered thing about them. Pun intended. Electronics is another part we need, but way more important next is the logistic science pack. It needs 75 red science packs, so that's why I'm starting to produce them automated now, because that's way more effective. So we're going to do this like that this time. So there we go. Just going to replace the inserter. Well, let's do it like that. I could do it also. I could also grab this out of the curve. It's no problem for the game. It's just a personal preference of aesthetics here. Oops, put them into the wrong direction. So I'm now going to repeat this. Well, let's do 5 of them. No, I can't. This is the okay. 4. So, if I would want to produce more of the red science packs in a bigger scheme, I would try to calculate a ratio of, I don't know, how to produce like 1 red science pack per second. Like now we're sitting on a production of 0.4. Like, it's pretty easy. 10 of these machines would produce 1 science pack, and then you twiddle around until you have figured out how many machines you need, and welcome to Factorio. Right now I've forgot to put up some inserters of these machines while I was rambling. But these are very important. Okay. In the meantime, I can grab some more iron plates here out of the freshly from the belt, and I'm going to craft myself some submachine gun, a little bit more ammo, and I'm going to produce also some suit of armor. Okay, there we go. Some minor adjustments. It's quite normal that some pieces of your array sometimes don't work. You just need to correct things from time to time. And there we go. So we're really soaring through the technology, mainly because here the science packs only have a processing time of 5 seconds. You really notice the difference. Okay. So, as you might notice, we're already using up a lot of the resources we're producing. Like right now, this little starter area is working on a quite high strain. We're going to need more miners and basically more everything, but this will take a little bit. So this is a reason why I will put up another chest here for the iron plates, because I want to stockpile a few more to put them into my inventory. When you use something like the belt here, its carrying capacity is finite to like only 30 or 40 units at once. If I want to pick up a lot of material to build something like mining drills, I want bigger amounts of plates, and that's why I put up a stash here. And that's why a good reason to put up stashes if you just need big amounts of some certain material because of a whatever reason. There can be plenty of reasons. That's what you use these things for. Also, I'm not limiting the space here, because if this chest ever runs full and I can't carry it, or I don't want to carry it, I just need to reverse the inserter and it starts to put out the plates back to the belt, so that's no problem at all. Okay, so we have now researched the logistics science pack, which opens up new technological options, but it also needs new ingredients, like a complete transport belt and a complete inserter. So unlike the red science, the green science now needs complete products to be produced, which is a new challenge, which we're not going to tackle during this episode, because I feel like at this point we are quite happy with what we've achieved so far, and I'm just going to research a few more technologies which I can achieve with the red science alone. So there's going to be optics, which brings us lamps, but since I'm using the anti-night mod to make the video series better watchable, we're not really needing them, but if you're playing without Afraid of the Night, you're going to enjoy those. We're going to research walls. Electronics is a technology which doesn't unlock anything, but it opens up new avenues of technology. And steel production. Steel production will be another advanced technology, and I'm going to end this episode roughly at this point, and I'm going to leave you with some thoughts where we're headed. And the next episode will definitely be around the production of the green science packs, and also I'm going to dive deeper into production chains, because I want to produce a facility which basically gives me all the necessary things I need to further expand. So we're going to put up assemblers for underground belts, splitters, pipes, inserters, electronic circuits, a lot of different things. So the next episode will be all about assembly arrays. Okay, my friends, so I would really be happy if you leave me some feedback, or just leave me some questions or anything you're looking for answers, or whatever ideas that you want to explain. I'm open for everything, and I hope you're coming back for the next episode when we're diving deeper into the secrets of automated production chains. See you guys next time. Bye bye.